Hello, everyone. Welcome to Thought Soup. This is my first episode, so I'm really happy about this. Today, I'm going to talk about emotions. Now, all humans have emotions. Usually, we can classify them into two categories. Of course, you can classify them into more categories if you want, but usually we say we have the good ones on one hand and the bad ones on the other hand. Most of our lives, we want to go towards the good ones. We love the good emotions, and we really don't like the negative emotions. So we tend to shy away from anything that gives us bad emotions. Now, let's try to see, how do emotions arise? I think we can safely say that usually there is an input, an initial input. An input could be a thought, could be a sensation in the body. It could be anything that comes to our awareness, to our attention. So when we get this input, automatically our brain judges it. It has a feeling about it. It likes it or it doesn't like it. This is part of survival, of course. But usually we'll have a thought, and our brain will decide if it's a good thought or a bad thought. Based on that judgment, we'll have a corresponding emotion that arises. So there's basically three phases. There's the input, there's the judgment about the input, and then there's the emotion that arises based on that judgment. So most of the time, all of this is completely unconscious, and it's virtually immediate. It's very fast. So we most often don't have even the time to perceive what's going on. So much so that I'm sure that it's happened to all of us at some point in our life where we're with somebody that knows us well. We might be doing something during the day, and that person will turn around and say, "Why are you such in a bad mood?" And you're like, "Well, I'm not in a bad mood." And then, or am I? And then you start realizing that maybe you are in a bad mood. Maybe you are reacting in this way or this other way. So that's just to show how unconscious all of this is. So basically, we try to avoid negative, we try to go towards the positive. But we want more. We somehow would like to have only positive emotions. Now, is that possible? Absolutely not. It's insane. It's a form of insanity, in my opinion, meaning that it's not always sunny outside. Sometimes it's dark, like every 12 hours. Sometimes it rains. Sometimes it snows, etc., etc. The same is with our emotions. They're not always the same type of emotions. This is part of being alive in this body. We have various chemical reactions that happen inside of us that affect us. We have bioma, we have a bunch of things that happen that make it that we can't have always the same kind of emotions. And luckily so. Otherwise, it would be extremely boring. And we can only call a good emotion if we compare it to a bad one. If all was good, we wouldn't know what good is, because there wouldn't be any bad to compare it to. If that makes any sense. So basically, we're always looking for good emotions, but that's not possible. So what is the solution? How can I deal with my emotions? Well, first of all, there's no dealing to be done. Emotions are just a natural emergence of us being alive in this body. So we can notice them. That would be the first step. But what I propose here is to actually notice our thoughts. Notice the initial input if we can. Just by being aware, just like those lights are shining on my face, there's no room for shadow. In the same way, if we have awareness, meaning we're really paying attention to what's going on inside more so than outside, on one hand, it's a lot of fun because a lot of is happening on the inside, much more than what we suspect. But on the other side, what's good about it is that we can actually see what the inputs are. What thought am I having, or what sensation am I having? And then if we're seeing it, then we're able to see how our brain classifies it. Is it a good one? Is it a bad one? Is it a good emotion, bad emotion? Do we like it? Do we not like it? But when we see it, it means that we're aware by definition. So maybe then we can see the emotion arise once we've seen the input and once we've seen the judgment that our brain has about that input, and we can just notice that we are in a mood, whether it being bad or good doesn't even matter. In fact, it's funny how most of us, when we're in a good mood, we're laughing and playing or whatever. Nobody ever asks, "Oh, why am I so happy? This is not good. I shouldn't be this happy." Or what is the cause of this happiness? We rarely do that. Yet, when we're in a bad mood, feeling depressed even, or feeling like you're down on your luck, or life is against us, or whatever feeling we may have, thought we may have, we start to, "Oh, this is not normal. I shouldn't be feeling like this." So why is it that we don't ask when we're feeling good, but we do ask when we're feeling bad? It doesn't make a lot of sense, does it? So what we can do is just be aware. Just observe what's happening and let the emotion arise. We can be in bad moods. It's okay. It's okay to be in a bad mood. The difference will be, though, that we're aware of it. And when we're aware of it, our behavior will not be unconscious. So we're not going to snap at somebody. We know we're in a bad mood. We might not be smiling, but we don't go into unconscious behavior. We're just in a bad mood. Just like when we're in a good mood. We're in a good mood, and that's it. So that's the good news. The bad news is, well, we'll never only have good moods. The good news is, when we do have a bad mood, or a good mood for that matter, we can just observe it. And then we'll notice that the mood arises, I should say, like, the shape of clouds. And then it modifies and disappears. Sometimes it'll disappear in a few minutes, sometimes in a day, sometimes in an instant. That's very personal. So that's it for emotions. So again, observe them. Observe what's happening inside. And don't do anything about it. Just look at them and be aware. And enjoy this process. It's very nice. It's great to be in a bad mood as well. Why not? So that's it for today. Thank you for watching. Next week, I'll be posting a video on another subject which is correlated to this, and it'll be about overthinking. Overthinking is very common in our modern societies. We value the brain very much, so we tend to overthink. And so I'll be talking about that. Until then, see you in a bit.